Okay, so it was the summer of 1806, and there were a group of 5 praying students out in western Massachusetts. They went out to this place where they typically went to pray, and they entered into this conversation that had been ongoing for them about what God was doing around the world. Now, you got to understand, at that time, it wasn't as if people were traveling around the world. They had heard of these places far off, and they wondered what God was doing there. That day specifically in August of 1806, they were talking about China. And in the middle of their conversations, this rain, big thunderstorm kind of thing set in. And so they decided they're going to make a bolt back to the campus. So they're running back to the campus, and they don't make it in time. They try to get shelter under this haystack, sort of just a heap of hay. And they hunker down next to this heap of hay, and they keep talking and praying. And in the middle of that, this one guy named Samuel Mills, now he's a freshman, keep this in mind, he's a freshman, but he's been thinking about this a little bit longer than the rest of them. He's a little bit older, even though he's a freshman. And he looks at the other guys, in this group of 5 of them, and he says, "We can do this if we will." Not "we'll do this if we can," which is the typical way we roll, but "we can do this if we will." And I guess it was the electricity of the afternoon, who knows, but something got into them. And out of that, meeting that now historians refer to as the Haystack prayer meeting, the foreign missions movement out of America emerged. And it emerged all out of that moment. Now the thing is, when you hear those stories, you think about a guy like Sam Mills, and you think, okay, this guy must have been an absolute legend. Like he must have walked into rooms and people were like, there he is, Sam Mills, But in reality, his roommate is describing him in his journal entries, I think it is in 1810, and he describes Sam Mills as he was an awkward figure with a croaking sort of voice. And so it's not as if Sam Mills looked at his friends and with this bold gusto said, "We can do this if we will." It probably was much more like, "We can do this, if we will," because he had a croaking voice. He was awkward. He was down to earth. He was normal. They had no idea that history was being made. They were just students who were praying. And I think the point is that right now, we got pockets of students praying all over the place. But most of us got this idea that God is waiting on some extraordinary human who's got it all together that he's going to use. That is not the story of Sam Mills. The story of Sam Mills is an awkward figure with a croaking voice. That's what his roommate said. You got to love your roommates, And that's how he described him. And I think if we can see that, if we can go, okay, so God is interested in partnering with someone like me, then it gives you new faith to believe and to try stuff and to go after it and to go, okay, we can do this if we will. We can. And I think that's the lesson of the Haystack prayer meeting. It's not that these awesome guys did it. It's that a few ordinary people begin to engage with a really extraordinary God. And history was made along the way. And it can happen again today.